used for whatever you're studying is repeated over and over in different areas, right? And the repetition is supposed to bring us closer to objectivity.
And your typical TV show today, at least the ones that are not Fox News, which is like a bunch of psychos, you know, with like large salaries, you know. But like a channel like MSNBC or even CNN always puts several polls together, right? Because the larger the number of polls, the more you're averaging out whatever amount of bias went into the question. And they always give you a margin of error to say, you know, this is not an exact number, you know, and the margins of error become larger the more subjective the question is. But your point is still very good. Social sciences have a harder time measuring things.
Anthropology too, as well.
Excuse me?
In anthropology too.
Well, that's right. The social sciences in general, economics, anthropology, you know, even the making of a census. You would think that the making of a census, counting how many people there are, would be something totally objective, but it isn't. Many people don't want to be counted. And people want to exaggerate how many people there are in a particular district than in another, because that means that it would get more votes in the next election. There's all kinds of political interest and economic interest that bias the very taking of a census. So yes, that is, I suppose, one of the reasons why the social science, anthropology, economics, sociology, and so on, are so less advanced than physics, chemistry, and biology. Their subject matter is conscious of the fact that you're studying them. The subject matter is conscious of the fact you're categorizing them, and they may alter their behavior in accordance to that knowledge. So the point is well taken. Let's move on, guys. I'm still going to be the rest of the hour defending Hume versus Kant, but I mean, I'm telling you in advance. Because, of course, the Kantians are the winners. I'm the loser, so as the loser, I need to fight my way up, right? So I'm fighting. My next punch, my next blow, is the following. It's one that actually makes me laugh a lot because it's kind of ironic. The Kantians, there are two types of Kantians in the 20th century. The ones that stress the signifier, Zizek, Lacan, the one that is the formal aspect of language, you know, the semantic aspect of language, the syntactical or the phonological aspect of language, and those that stress semantics, the content of words, you know, the meaning of words. We have already dumped on the signifier people. Let's attack a little bit the semantic people. The semantic people think that everything, for instance, cultural anthropologists, such as Clifford Geertz, Margaret Mead, and the whole tradition of cultural anthropology that has flourished in particular in the United States. Cultural anthropology is supposed to be all about hermeneutics or interpretation. Remember what hermeneutics is. It was invented by priests, and is still conducted mostly by priests. Now, not that I have anything against freaking priests, other than I hate the hell out of them. But that should already tell you a little bit of the kind of profession that you're competing against, right? Your typical priest is interpreting sacred texts, putting extra little commentary on the margins, and then other people comment on the commentary, and those sacred texts are there to justify their authority. The authority of the church, the authority of a particular hierarchy of priests, and bigger priests and even bigger ones, right? So, it's always been at the service of the legitimacy of religious authority, interpretation of sacred texts. By the 20th century, hermeneutics or interpretation became something that was also, laid. Secular people could engage in interpretation. Interpretation of novels, as in literary criticism, interpretation of ancient texts by historians, and so on, until by the time we got to the postmodern era, it became interpretation of everything. Because if you believe in the linguisticality of experience, and everything is shaped by language, then everything is shaped by meaning. The irony of all this is that the word meaning has two meanings. I don't know if you find this funny, but I find it extremely funny that the experts on meanings did not see that the meaning of the word meaning is two meanings. You know, future historians are laughing. I can already hear them. What are those two meanings? Well, it actually has more than two meanings, but I'm going to concentrate on two. On one hand, it means signification, which is a linguistic thing. When you say to somebody in the middle of a conversation, what do you mean? What is the meaning of what you just said? It can be a request for a definition. Maybe you just, in the last sentence you used a word, oh, well, it's just that the body with our organs is all around us. What do you mean? Meaning, what is the definition of body without organs? Right? Oh, all you have to do is deconstruct that. What do you mean? What is the meaning of deconstruction? Or it can be a request for a disambiguation. You may have used all words that are known, but one of the words has two different senses. Bank, that refers to something you can sit on, or you can put your savings on. And if the phrasing of the sentence is just right, you may not know if it's referring to an institution where you put money on or to something you sit on. So you say, what do you mean? Disambiguate that sentence for me. So signification is typically about definitions, when it's about the signification of word and meanings of word, or where it is about the meaning of whole sentences, it's about disambiguations. Both are perfectly legitimate. I'm not really sure I'm pronouncing. I'm spelling disambiguation right, but forget about it. Those are perfectly legitimate things. Just as I said, I'm not denying the existence of language or that language is important. Language has meanings, and meanings are important. One of the things I'm doing in this class, for instance, is avoiding any Deleuzian jargon. I don't know if you've noticed, but I have not used a single piece of jargon from Deleuze. That is one of the reasons why you can understand me. And if you right now read Deleuze and go, what the hell is he talking about? I have no idea why he is in love with jargon. I have no idea. He should have known that the more jargon you put in your book, the bigger the chances you will be misunderstood, and the larger the chances that your followers are not even your followers, because they are not even extending your thoughts and your investigation. They are distorting it and moving it into all kinds of different directions that are completely irrelevant. Nevertheless, the guy loved his funny little words, which I personally hate. It might be a generational thing. He's from the 60s, I'm from the 70s. 70s people, we tend to hate 60s people because we are bored with you should have been at the summer of love. It's summer of love, you losers. So we've developed a kind of like, oh my God, not the 60s again. We had the best rock and roll. Yeah, in your dreams. So it may be an autobiographical thing. But I remember since I began understanding Deleuze that one of my dreams was to one day write a book in which I captured that vibrant, adventuresome, cosmic thought without a single word of jargon. And of course, that attitude is all about meanings in the sense of signification, definitions, disambiguations. I used a single word of jargon today, body without organs, and I gave it a definition. A body of water and air animated by intensities. And at that point, body without organs stopped being some mystifying postmodern word and became some kind of reasonable way of referring to a body animated by intensities. But I didn't use it all the time, only at that particular point. And I'm going to do the same thing in those 3 days. When I introduce a Deleuzian piece of jargon, I'll define it so that its signification is clear. Therefore, this implies that I'm not putting this down. This is important, and it's important